Salutations, I am Elizabeth Burgin, and I was a Revolutionary War spy on the Patriots side. Before we get into that, though, let me tell you a bit more about myself. I was born in 1760 to my mother and father, as well as 6 brothers and sisters. As I grew older, I married to John and Nis, and a few years after marriage, we started to have children. I cherished children, so we had quite a few, which was a big handful. Later on, my beloved husband went to war and sadly passed on. I was devastated and decided not to seek a new love. After his death, I found out about the prisoners. There were over 200 of them on many British ships. I went there as often as I could, supplying them with food, water, and entertainment. I kept their hopes up as much as I could. Months passed until one day, as I was getting off the ship after visiting the prisoners, a strange man approached me. His name was George Higday. He offered to let me join the Cooper spy ring and help the prisoners. Even though I had worries about leaving my children, I accepted. They were old enough and could care for each other. Months later, we had a plan, and after much debate, we decided to attack. That night, I helped over 200 prisoners escape from many British ships. It's one of my most vivid memories, other than holding my children for the first time. Sadly, the British found out my identity and placed a large bounty on my head. Less than a week later, they found my home, and me and my children were forced to flee. Since they could not capture us, they took all of our belongings from our home. Many people helped me and my family in this difficult time. A few years after the war, I wrote to George Washington about what happened that night when over 200 prisoners escaped many British ships with the Cooper spy ring's help. He wrote to Congress, and in 1781, I received a government pension as payment for my help in the Patriots' cause. My final years passed peacefully, and sadly I passed away.